Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. Several members of the press asked me this morning, what's happening to MuniWireless? And of course, they were looking around and they said, wow, there's a lot of people here. For something that's, dead or in the dumps, there are a lot of people. And I said, well, that's because it's filled with people who are really doing something, not just writing stories about nothing. So I don't think they're going to print that, but, he kind of looked at me and said, snarky remark, but okay. It's my conference. I get to say what I like. What I'd like to do now is just summarize what's been said. There's a lot of information. Summarize what's been said today and present a couple of really cool, let's just say, applications for Wi-Fi. Not government apps, but really, actually, internet access, but on public transport. It's a favorite topic of mine because, as we all know, anyone who lives in a city today, you're confronted with congestion. People are driving, too many people are driving, too many people are flying around. We have to figure out a way to get people to take public transport. And one of the ways is to make it very attractive for people to do their work on public transport. So I'll talk about that and how the cost of Wi-Fi on public transport is going down. But I'm just going to kind of summarize what we've been talking about today, just so you have a framework for putting all the information today and tomorrow in one basket. So, we're searching for business models. Again, because this is such a new thing, you can't really say that model's dead, that model's dead. There's no such thing as any model being dead. Every city, every town, every county has its own particular needs. There's no one size fits all. So what you need to do is to sit down and just figure out, okay, what do you need today? What works for you? We've seen a couple of applications today, like the city of Burbank with their utility is doing something very cool. It goes beyond wireless automated meter reading, although that is a component of the network. They're doing very intelligent monitoring of how people actually use energy, control the appliances in the buildings. Public safety, Providence has done an incredible job. Traffic management in Riverside, again, trying to make people and cities, people who work in them more efficient. Many munis and regions all over the world, not just in the U.S., are partnering with private enterprise. Why is that? Is because, a muni is in itself an enterprise. It does not have all of the capabilities to do every single thing. So they have to partner with people, just like private enterprises partner with each other when they're working on very large projects. So, using fiber as the backhaul for many of the projects, they use wireless, sometimes WiMAX and 3G as additional backhaul to deliver a whole slew of applications, consumer, enterprise, and government. And then, the ad-supported networks, that's also, I've seen reports saying it's dead, it's not feasible. We're not even there yet. I mean, Apple has just sold, what, 1.1 million phones? That's really not a lot of devices when you consider the universe of wireless devices today that are in the hands of people. And many of the cell phones that we have today don't even have Wi-Fi. The ones that are coming out this year, following year, et cetera, will have Wi-Fi. So we don't even know, how many billion people will be walking around with devices that have 3G, Wi-Fi, whatever it is. And when people are doing that, how does that change behavior? How does it drive demand for ubiquity? And what kinds of applications will people want to have on it? So the other thing today that we went through in the sessions, who's deploying? Counties, for example. Large cities are moving beyond the cellular model, so they're thinking not just of voice or subscriptions for voice or internet data access. They're also thinking, what other applications can we put on these networks? The mid-tier cities are very interested, like Minneapolis and Tucson. Cities that are growing very fast, doubling in size every 5 years. They cannot double the number of municipal employees because there's a budget crunch. So how do they make existing employees more efficient? Well, they're really looking at wireless to try to squeeze more productivity out of each and every employee. And if the city government looks at the city itself, the big city, as an office, so they have offices obviously inside buildings, but a lot of their workers work outside. If it's a big office, wouldn't it be nice to have a wireless LAN like an office across your office? Small towns are on dial-up. There are a lot of places in rural areas, not just in the US, but around the world, in China, in India, you know, in Latin America and Africa that do not have access to broadband. How do you get them access to broadband? The quickest way is to do it wirelessly, a variety of technologies, not just Wi-Fi, by the way. Of course, using fiber as the backhaul in some areas, not in a lot of places. And one thing I've noticed in the last 6 months is a significant increase in the numbers of wireless networks that are being deployed, for example, in Europe and in Asia. So, you know, I've been writing a lot about American networks, but lately I've been seeing more and more countries, you know, cities abroad doing it. I don't know why that is. Maybe they woke up to it, or the equipment price is dropping, or who knows. But it seems to me that they're, you know, I'm getting more and more reports about that. And, you know, just to recap, look at what cities are using it for. And I'm sure this is only you know, the tip of the iceberg. A lot of beach towns, for example, that are using it for